Okay, I'm recording, and the meeting is also being on what do we got on? It's being YouTube.
Dave just messaged too, said he's having trouble, but he's trying.
I'm not getting their emails. I don't know what's going on here.
Oh,
they're not emails, they're text messaging.
Oh, okay.
I think the email might be the problem.
Yes, because I'm on the city email and it's giving me the error message.
Yeah, I'm on the city email. Now-
You're right. I was just on it and I clicked refresh and it went right to not found.
Oh yeah, because if you accept that you were going to the, like for the calendar event that Bill sets,
Yeah.
it sends it to whatever calendar's on your phone, and then it like deletes the email.
Right,
That's usually how I get to it, is I go to my,
but
like,
I can't
my
get in
email.
the email at all.
It should be on your calendar.
Oh, really?
It should, yeah, if you have Outlook, it should be on your calendar.
Yeah, I can't get in the
Okay,
email.
I got John Crawford right now.
Yeah, I end up having to dig mine out of the, normally when Bill sends them, I forward it to my personal email because I can't get a hold of the city email on my personal computer when I'm at home, but I can on my phone.
Okay,
So-
John, you there?
Yeah,
Okay, so we just got to get Dave on, right?
Yeah,
Okay, did somebody send him the?
He would have been part of the same link that Paul sent over to John.
Dave said he's got to restart his computer.
Yeah, I think a couple of them couldn't get in.
Oh, damn that Linux.
Oh,
I think about them logging in by email.
okay.
That's what we have to do.
So when will that be over?
Hope to hear soon.
Okay, we just, the problem is that the email server was being automatically updated. It slipped through, so that should be done in a minute. And Dave should be able to get on. Jason just come up and told me, so. Okay, we got everybody on. Except Dave.
Yep.
Okay, and we're waiting for him to reboot his computer, right?
that's what he said.
Dave doesn't know how to reboot his computer.
But
he shuts his main house breaker off.
I don't know if that'll be very helpful to him though, because if the server's down, the only way he could get on maybe is with a smartphone.
that's what I'm on. I'm on my phone.
Not the Droid Razor.
Not the Nokia.
I had one of them Droid razors.
I missed 2006.
Those were the days.
How about the flip ones? I always like those.
So can so Paul, what do you want to do? Wait for Dave?
We could be waiting a while, right? We might as well start with one of the committee meetings.
Uh,
I don't know who wants to go first.
Technology is great until it doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
It's like democracy.
Until it doesn't.
Maybe I'll have Jason downstairs, Jason Wells, call Dave and walk him through getting on.
Either way, we could probably kick off though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might.
John.
I mean, it just as if somebody has his personal email, does anyone have Dave's personal email? Maybe they could send him the Zoom link to his personal email. That way he should be able to get it. But I don't know. I don't know what his personal email is. So, but yeah, I'm happy to go first. I don't care.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I got it. He's in the waiting room, so I'm letting him in right now.
All right, Dave.
Okay, Dave, you there? He's connecting the audio.
That scene 2012, where they almost missed that giant boat. The last minute Dave makes it on.
Am I on?
You're
You're
here.
on.
You're on.
Wow, I had to use my phone. Something's effed up with my computer.
No, it's not your computer. The upgrading or of the or the reboot or the backup, I don't know, of the email system here automatically kicked in. So it should be done now, but Jason Wells is working on it. So, but we have everybody here.
Yep.
Okay, all right.
Hey, John.
Sure. So because I can't access my email, well, wait a minute. I know how to find the agenda. Never mind. I'd like to call to order the strategic planning committee for Tuesday, December 1st, 2020. Let the record show that all aldermen are present. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the agenda. Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the previous committee meeting. Could I get a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Witt. All in favor? Aye.
I,
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. No unfinished business. One item for a new referral for consideration. So this is a discussion how perhaps the city could utilize its Zoom license to reach out to our community and maybe provide a little bit of a service during this crisis to help strengthen our community connection. And so I'd reached out to Bill as well as Chris Shueri of the rec department to talk about with the, I don't want to call it a looming shutdown. I think it's probable that different activities, gyms and so on will start to be restricted and possibly shut down after school programs and things like that. Is there a way that the city could start to utilize our Zoom license to provide some, what could be for a couple months, interaction for our elderly, our senior citizens who use the senior center, or the kids, the students who use the St. John's after school program. Could we implement some yoga or I don't know, some virtual interaction? And I wanted to get the council's thought and I wanted to get the mayor's thought on that.
I could go first if you'd like.
Sure, Bill.
These are, I did reach out to Chris and he has been talking with the workers there. And there may be some things we can do. Like the Bartlett House, they're going to start virtual tours, this month. So those are some of the things there, virtual tours for school groups, business groups, all that. John J. S. Community Center, the activities director feels that the virtual activities would not be a good idea for programming due to senior population not being comfortable with computers and many of them not owning one or having access to a computer. But having said that, it's worth a try. Virtual conferences could be between county and activity director for meetings. That's I've authorized the purchase of cameras for the standalone computers, so we can upgrade to this. So we're IT is purchasing several cameras, and we'll have that working there. Youth court may be a place where this can be used.
Community
St.
service.
John's, what's that?
like community service?
No, probably not. But, you know, I guess they don't call them trials, but yeah, they do mock trials and training and things like that. That could be done. And they can do they could actually do the intakes and that virtually. So that's something that can be done there. Fall and winter programs at St. John's. This would be difficult because a lot of the stuff there is hands-on, and the building itself does not have internet access, which we could do. I already talked to IT, and we could get what is it called? Not run access to the building, but do the not fire sticks, but there's
Hotspot.
what is it?
It's a hotspot.
Hotspot, yeah. Yeah, we could do that. So they're still working on that because, you know, when it comes to playing air hockey, pool, Xbox, gymnasium games, these are some of the highlights of down there, but it's not out of the realm. Some of the special events could be done, like a magic show, outside instructors for sports clinics, different things like that. So there is some doable things here. We can continue to work on it. So that's our thoughts right now.
No, that's a great list, Bill. And I think I had spoken with some members of the community who would like to, you know, see a little bit of a maybe the city to step up in the virtual world if the shutdown happens and keep some of those services going. Whether, you know, the after school, another thing, and I don't know necessarily, I realize the people that run the after school program are usually younger. I don't know if they're college age students or whatever, but possibly even homework support at this point. I know a lot of parents are struggling, myself included, with trying to teach some of the Common Core stuff. And, you know, parents are getting frustrated with the virtual learning. I think just maybe that flexibility of providing either games, interactive games, if nothing else, just to, I'll be honest, like this is the highlight of my Tuesday, is to have some interaction with you guys, although virtual. And if there was a way to reach out to some seniors, I think that would be wonderful. And, you know, if you need additional funding, I mean, I guess where, as you look into this and you and Chris maybe expand upon what programs are you're able to do, if you need additional funding, possibly I see where other communities are offering more like chair exercise programs for senior citizens and things like that.
Is there any other kind of exercise?
Yeah, no.
Well, I don't think we'd want a liability chair exercise. I don't know if we want a liability for anything else. But what do some of the council members think?
John, I know I have Lily 3 days a week, and she does school on the computer, 2 of them, and they do gym class. They, you know, go through exercises. They do scavenger hunts. They've come up with all kinds of things they can do on Zoom with the kids. So that's a good thing. As far as the seniors, I'm there Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm talking to some of them, and very few of them have computers that they feel comfortable even knowing how to get on Zoom. And maybe that's something that Terry could put up and have them come to the, you know, we could have so many at the center at a time, get them to maybe understand it, but they do the chair exercises, yoga and things like that. But I think some of the other ideas sound great. And I think anything to keep that social interaction is a good thing, especially for our young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Linda, John. I think, you know, we have this ability now and this opportunity. We might as well make use of it. It really won't cost us much more than effort, and might as well.
I think one of the popular programs over there would be help with their income taxes, and I can see that being done, by Zoom. So if it's even if these seniors have to come into the center and have the people who are helping with them on the Zoom, so they can do it that way. So there's some positives there too.
Is that, Bill, is that something the city normally runs? Or could we work in collaboration maybe with, like, I know St. Bonaventure has the VITA program, and Pitt Bradford does too, which is, it helps low income and senior citizens with their tax. That would be if we could have like a setup, like you're saying, at the senior center where people could come in and do a virtual consult with, one of the accounting students at whatever, at Bonaventure or something like that. Is that something we typically do?
Yes, that's been going on. That's been going on for years. They get volunteers to come in and they help the seniors with their income tax. Very popular program.
Okay,
And,
good.
so that is something that we can expand on to go virtual with it, so they can get their help. I mean, it's it's right there. But it's a good idea, Linda. That is a good idea to maybe we can have somebody with some good background in computer come in and do some classes for the seniors.
Mhm. I think that would be very receptive to it.
Yeah, I know from my perspective, this interaction is important. And so people who are young and people who are older definitely need the interaction. And I guess rather than wait for gyms to shut down and restaurants and, possibly even like the senior center and things like that, perhaps we could try to be proactive and build, so I appreciate your guys' efforts thinking on this issue. Anybody else?
I'm just wondering if a lot of seniors don't have access to computers, how do you know what I mean? Like, I guess if they came in to teach them, maybe there was some, we could, show them, well, this is an inefficient model. If there was something that you could, or inefficient, expensive, you can pick it up at your local, like, Walmart, or maybe the Boundless Connections has something that, because I can see some seniors going, well, I want to see all my friends and I can't go down to the senior center. So I'm gonna have to go to the library and use their computers so that I can get online. And they get all these seniors at the library defeating the purpose of being online.
Right.
Kevin, I know Linda and Bill, you guys are familiar with. I'm not saying this because you're senior citizens.
It's okay. It's okay. Say it.
But you guys were
you
guys were mayors and are mayors, so you guys have to administer your center. So it's not because you are senior citizens. It's but maybe you would know better. But I feel like this last 6-8 months, I mean, I think, even my mom, who's, she's a senior citizen, she has a very little technical know-how. Like, this has caused her to know how to use Skype and know how to use Zoom. And, that's her really, for a lot of them, they've had to learn this to have interaction with their families and things like that. So we might be selling them short. Maybe
Right.
them have picked up this skill and maybe they would be receptive to it.
And as being one of those wiser people, I know, like Lily's other grandparents, they don't have Wi-Fi at their house. They're just learning how to use their cell phone. They haven't before. So I think there's different levels.
Yeah.
And I have seniors that have iPhones that, FaceTime with their kids, Zoom with their grandkids. So yeah, I think you're right. I think there's different levels, and I think there are some out there that would be perfectly comfortable. I think you just have to put it out there and see who comes and who's in.
And market it, get it in the.
And on the other hand, if we offer the training, this might be what some of the seniors might say, hey, it's about time I do this.
Right.
And Santa's coming, maybe their families will buy them computers. So.
Right. Yep. Well, great. Awesome. Well, if you don't mind, Bill, the ball's in your court with Chris. Maybe we could follow up in 2 weeks and see if anything, has been further developed.
Okay, we can do that. Yes, I also have a department head meeting coming up here a week from Friday that I'll try to get some ideas from them too, because there may be other things we can do. Not only at, I'm thinking, okay, what can we do at the rec center? What can we do, around the city? So we'll work on it. So.
Awesome. Yeah, I know, we opted to keep our children home this year, and just because we figured schools would be doing this back and forth, open, they're closed, they're open, they're closed. And so that was a choice that we made, but they missed the interaction with their friends. And yeah, the social interaction is very important. And so, that's, if there was an opportunity for them, I'd put them on, if they had games or something 2 or 3 days a week or whatever after school. I think they would really enjoy that. Or like you said, a magic show, I don't know, something, a hunt, so, yeah, okay. Anyways, great discussion. Anybody else?
I just thought of this, John. How about for the kids, story time?
Sure.
Have teachers or, grandparents that like to be, that we could get on, read stories to them. Kids, no matter how old they are, they love for their grandparents or someone, bye, sweetie, to read to them. And that's something simple that just about anybody can do.
Yeah. Alderman Doherty, story hour. Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Yes, I love it. There's a whole bunch of new age progressive stories I would love to read kids.
All right.
And John, I also offered to take my kids over to your house for a play date / babysitting event. So if you ever need social interaction for your kids.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Is that all? Well, I think that's it let me just check back. My thing shut down. If nothing else I think that was it for strategic planning. Tiffany, do we have committee reports?
Nope.
All right, then I'll make a motion to adjourn. Could I get a second? Seconded by Gonzalez. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
All right, good meeting.
Okay. Well, we're going to jump right into public safety. Like the record show that all committee members are in attendance. I'll make a motion to approve the committee meeting minutes, November 3rd, 2020. Can I have a second?
A second.
Okay, Alderman Anastasia, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I don't believe we have any unfinished business. Right, Tiffany?
Right.
Okay, new referrals for consideration. PL 78-20 by Alderman Robinson to authorize the installation of a deaf child area signs in the vicinity of the intersection of Henley and North 14th Street. Alderman Robinson.
Thank you. So I had a constituent get a hold of me, Wendy Peterson, and she is moving into the corner home there at 14th and Henley. And this area, it's like a 4-way intersection, kind of. Is the Henley on both sides, 14th comes down, but then 14th continues on into the National Grid parking lot. So I think we would be looking at 4 signs, but what she's looking for is I forwarded an email to everyone that she sent to me. This was something that Bob Ring, DPW, said that we needed a letter requesting this. So I gave her a call and asked her to send something in. And she pretty much explains why, but it's her grandson. He frequents the home, or who will be frequenting the home. He's going to be attending his first year at St. Mary's School, and he has profound, severe hearing loss. He's had it since the age of 2. I think I mentioned that he's 6 now. He is fascinated by trucks. And she goes on to mention that being right there by National Grid, with all of the trucks that we have coming in and out of there, that he's fascinated by the trucks, and she's worried that with traffic concerns that she wants people to realize that he's not going to react to a typical horn beep or things of that nature. You would have to go the extra mile in order to let a driver know that, hey, there's someone in the area that cannot absolutely hear you. And while he's fascinated with these trucks and vehicles. So I agree that I think we should put something in place there. And it is a situation where once it's no longer needed, then it gets removed. So, yep, that's about it.
Okay. Now I see Bob Ring sent us an email explaining things. So other than that, Mayor, do we have to pass a resolution, or we can just allow our DPW to do it? How does that work with the deaf child?
I think I think you'd have to pass a resolution authorizing the installation of
Okay.
the deaf child signs.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions or concerns about putting these signs up?
Linda, if I could.
Yep.
I have no concerns about the current signs, and I know this is something, and I'm not trying to rehash what we've talked about a million times, but that we should additionally consider the policy of I can think of two signs that are very rusted and old and probably not even necessary anymore. And maybe the removal of some of those signs, while we put more in, maybe we should circle back and look at ones that are just no longer necessary because the individual's moved.
Right. I agree. There's a couple areas that I've seen signs, and I don't think the people that requested them 20 years ago even live there anymore. So I think that's something maybe we should look into, go back to the resolution to see who requested it, and this, double check, make sure they don't live there. And if they don't, I guess the resolution to remove them.
I thought that was something that we had discussed where we said we were going to check our areas and then come back with a list or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because we could combine them all into one PL.
Yep.
Yeah,
Get it
agreed.
all cleaned up. Yeah.
It doesn't have to be connected to this. I just wanted to
Mhm.
we'll just keep talking about it so it gets done. So if it's on us to go around our wards, then we need to compile a list and, turn it in by the end of the year or something like that. That would be helpful.
Yeah, it could be, get everything, clean up, let's clean it up all at once, if we can get it the best we can. We're not always gonna catch all of them, but, let's get it cleaned up, the best we can.
And I think it would go a long way to update the book that's up in DPW, to just update some of those outdated, and the signs that are in that book, some of them are no longer there. So I think it would help that department also to just update them.
Yeah.
I also want to point out too that this is actually not at all the same as the children at play signs that we as a city, and I think in general throughout the country, have gone away from installing children at play. This is entirely different. So if anybody, is thinking that there's an equivalency there, there's not. This is a very different situation.
Right. This is, I know my dad wore hearing aids because he was in the war. And, when he took them off, you could be sitting next to him and he wouldn't hear you. So if you have a child, as Vernon pointed out, that's just infatuated with trucks, the last thing you want is him out there, not being able to hear a horn. So it is a public safety issue. So it is different. I agree.
I mean, I have constant ringing in my ears, and my wife will sit right next to me, and I can't hear a word she says sometimes. So,
Is that by convenience or?
Mine's always by convenience.
That's called selective hearing. Dave, question?
Yeah, I had a question. I have no problem with Vern's request, but I have a separate issue that if I could, I'd just like to bring up. I have a former alderman who has been asking me several times if we could have a sign relocated on the Westfall Road and Buffalo Street intersection because it sets back. And he says when he has people come into his home, people drive past the street because they can't see the street sign. There'd be no expense to the city to have this sign moved towards the Buffalo Street intersection, maybe 5 feet. Do I need to put a PL in to have this done, or can we just order DPW to relocate the existing sign with no expense to the city other than probably 20 minutes labor?
Well, it takes 4 guys at 20 minutes. So
Well, they can get it done with 2. I put street slides up before.
I'll have a conversation with Bob Ring tomorrow about this and see what we can come up with.
Okay, thank you. I didn't know if I should put a PL in or if we could do it in-house.
Okay, we'll follow up on that, Dave.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Yep. Okay, so Tiffany, we're just going to vote to move this on.
Yes, and it will be on the agenda next week for resolution.
Okay, so Vern, do you want to sponsor it?
Yes, I'll sponsor it.
Okay, and I need
I'll
a second.
second.
Now, who is that?
That was Kevin.
Okay,
I know Wendy Peterson pretty well. So
okay, great. So all in favor of installing the 4 deaf child area signs on the corner of Henley and North 14th? All in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
hi.
Opposed? Okay, carried. Okay, moving on. Update on COVID. I called Tiffany and I put this on because I just think with the way things are going, listening to what the governor has to say, listening to, just any news report, I just think it behooves us as, government to stay on top and really have the information. And I want to thank Mayor Aiello for sending out the weekly update from the hospital. I think that's very helpful. And it just kind of shows you, there's so much misinformation out there. So I think we have to be leery of that too. But today the Public Health Board met. And as you know, we all know people that are on it. And one of them is my husband. And he asked Dr. Watkins if he could give me some of the latest figures. So what I wanted to do is to share some numbers with you. And then I will make a copy of these and send them to each alderman. So what I want to do, the updated numbers, right now we have 339 active cases. To date, we have a total of 27 deaths. We have a total of 1,138 confirmed cases. And all total in the county, we have tested 57,894 people, which is pretty impressive. We've quarantined 27 travelers. We've also quarantined people that had contact with positive folks, 531. And in our region, which is the southeast region of Cattaraugus County, we've had 483 people recover. We've had 19 deaths just in our region. So I just wanted to share those numbers. Another set of numbers is the percentage. We have the daily percentage for Cattaraugus County is 6.7%. The 7-day rolling average is 6.5, and the 14-day rolling average is 6.6. Another interesting statistic, as I said, we have 339 cases. There's a total of 28 people hospitalized right now. There's 16 at the Olean General. Two additionally to the 16 are in ICU, 16 are on the floor. There's 2 from Cattaraugus County and Buffalo General. There are 2 from Cattaraugus County in Hammett Hospital, 2 in Chaffee, 2 in Brooks Memorial, and 1 in WCA. So they're not just here in our hospital. Excuse me. As far as our positives, again, it's 1,138 positives. Here's the age group, which I found really interesting. Ages 0 to 19, we had 157 positives. Ages, the highest age group was 20 to 29. We've had 244. The next highest is ages 30 to 39. We've had 154. And then it goes to age 50 to 59, 152, 40 to 49, 111. And then, Bill, you and I are in this age group, 60 to 69, 150. Ages
The most useful.
ages 70 to 79, 97, ages 80 to 89, which would be including our nursing home folks, 55, and ages 90 to 99, 18. So I just thought you'd like to, hear some of those age group numbers. And then they also sent me a sheet, the difference between the level yellow to orange to red. And I'll just pick, like, say, the business. Level yellow, they still remain open. At orange, it's closing high-risk, non-essential businesses. And as John pointed out, gyms, personal care, accessories, and more. And then at level red is the only ones open are essential businesses. Dining, let's see, level yellow is in and outdoor dining with 4 persons per table. At level orange, it's outdoor dining, which in this weather, we're not going to do that. And then when we get to the red, it's takeout and delivery only. And same, let's see, with school at levels yellow, it's they're open, but there's mandatory 20% weekly testing of students and teachers. And then at level red and orange, it's remote learning only. So that's just a few things. The one other thing that I found interesting is he gave me an update on the phases of the people that would get the vaccine. So phase 1 would be the healthcare workers, obviously, that have direct contact with patients, would be ICU, emergency room, EMS, top priority. Next would be long-term facilities, the people that interact with them, most at-risk high-term facility patients. And then phase 2 is first responders, which is fire, police, and National Guard, teachers that are direct contact with students, public health workers, and other essential people, for instance, grocery store workers, transit workers, pharmacists, people that maintain your infrastructure. And then also individuals in the population that had high-risk health conditions. Phase 3 would be individuals over 65. Also individuals under 65 with high-risk medical conditions. Phase 4 would be all essential workers other than the ones that have already been listed. And phase 5 would be healthy adults and children. So I think it behooves us to, just keep those things in mind. Like I said, I'll make copies and send these to you. I know one of the things that the hospital is looking for are doctors and nurses that have been retired that would like to come back and help. Many of us are already doing things at home, either watching our grandchildren and things like that. So there's that need out there. And I think once we get the vaccine, some of those retired people might be the very people they tap to help, go to the nursing homes or the senior housing areas. So I think it's behooves us just to, when people ask us, what's going on or where are we, I just think it behooves us to have that information. So does anybody have any questions?
Linda, you said out of the 339 active cases, is that countywide, or that would be from the south corner of where we are in Olean?
That's countywide. In Olean, the south, let's see, what is it? The southeastern corridor. So far from the beginning to this point, we've had actually 731 positive cases. So we are the highest in our county, but we're also the largest population in our county. But I think it's interesting when you look at those age groups. I would have thought the older folks would have been higher, but I was kind of surprised at how young some of those folks were with the high numbers.
Linda,
Right.
what was the numbers for 40 to 49 again?
40 to 49, 111.
Okay. And then Mayor, the one that you sent us in the email from the doctor, is that information shareable?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. If you want, I will, I get that weekly. I'll forward it on to you.
Oh, I'd appreciate it. I plan on sharing it on my page.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, just so everybody knows too, we have, right now, we have 4 people out on quarantine for the city workers. So, you know, it could get real. So,
Yeah.
like I said, we've been working on a pandemic plan. Actually, we're meeting tomorrow to go over some of the things. Brad Camp is champion that along with the fire chief. So, you know, we're putting together a plan, and this is, you know, it's not for just the COVID, it's for any pandemic or a situation that we get into like this. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's it could get real here.
Yep. And, you know, the numbers I gave you, Dr. Watkins was fine with me sharing those with you. I just think it's part of educating us, but also part of educating the public. I just think, you know, we have I was telling John the other day, for Thanksgiving, usually my street where we live on Main Street is just, you know, just packed with cars from kids being home and other relatives coming. And this Thanksgiving, it was really quiet. You know, nobody had a huge amount of visitors at their house. So I think people aren't talking much about it, but I think more and more people are starting to realize, you know, in the winter, they said there was going to be that second or third spike, and it's certainly here. And I think whether we go into yellow, orange, or red eventually, you know, something's coming. And I think our numbers after this coming week will be reflective of people traveling at Thanksgiving time. So we'll see, you know, just how those numbers shake out.
Linda, in addition to the statistics, I just heard on the news this evening that 40% of COVID fatalities have occurred at long-term care at nursing home facilities, and obviously, I mean, that's a really quite a shocking number, and as the mayor said, it absolutely is real, and especially for the people who are caretakers, and you know, who have parents or individuals at nursing home facilities. My grandmother caught COVID, and 5 days later she was dead. You know, and she was at the facility in Allegheny. So you know, it's starting to impact and touch, you know, people in our community. And hopefully those are the areas that we do have to protect the most, and certainly use our head the rest of the time. You know, wear a mask, and when we're in heavy populated areas, but definitely the elderly and those with the pre-existing conditions have to be very, very careful going in the next couple months.
Yep. And I think, you know, if you've been following in the paper, you know, there's 60-year-olds, 62-year-olds, and these folks are out and about. You know, they just have, some of them have pre-existing, some are COPD. But I think the other thing that we have to be grateful for is our healthcare providers, especially the nurses and the respiratory therapists. And I know I said this before, but you know, we can't take them for granted. They're exhausted, not just physically, but they're dealing with these folks every day, and they're watching people die in front of them. And in many cases, their families can't be with them. So I just think we really need to be sensitive to those folks. And it's, you know, the housekeepers, it's the people in and out of those rooms that every day they put themselves at risk. So I think we really need to, you know, keep them in our prayers and just realize what a great job they're doing. You know, they're our little heroes right now, and we can't take them for granted. So that's all I had as far as COVID update and the other. Do we have any committee reports, Tiffany?
Oh, I was going to say something first. I've been kind of silent on this issue. Sorry. I think that this situation stinks the whole way around, regardless on what side of the fence you're on COVID and how to handle it and yada yada. And I think that the statistics that you give us are great, but I think that context also helps, like how many people have COVID. Is helpful numbers to have, but at the same time, I think we really need to also look at why. I mean, like if you look at other countries across the world and countries similar to ours, countries less advanced, more advanced, things like that, and they're showing that lockdowns and mask mandates and treating people like children and expecting them to, because there's people out there that don't do that's right, and there's people out there that do what's right, and I think that's not changing the numbers, because there's places that have mask mandates and lockdowns and they're getting worse numbers than anybody else. And there's other places like Florida, for example, that don't have any mask mandates and their lockdowns are limited and they're having less problems than other places, and they have a more aging population. So, I mean, I think that a lot of people need to take that into account too,
Kevin, I think one of the things, and this pointed out to me by someone that just came back from Florida, she was telling me down in Florida, people are outside more. And since we're obviously entering winter up here, I think that's one of the reasons our numbers are going up. And as a retired nurse, I still think people need to wash their hands, social distance, and wear a mask. And that's just the medical side of me. It's not, and I don't look at the political, both sides of the fence. I'm just going with the medical. And I think, we've got to do our best, and then we will see the end of this. I think we just have to do our due diligence and educate people. And, we can agree to disagree, but I just think anytime you're in a situation, if there's one thing you can do to help, you should do it. So that's my soapbox.
I want to add a couple of things to that, Linda. One, personal experience. When I go to Arizona, and over the summer when I was there, they were the new epicenter and things were hot and heavy. One thing I did not see when I was out in town, when I would drive around to go enjoy my day, was I did not see someone not wearing a mask. It just didn't happen. And that was a red state. So I just want to put that out there, that it seems to be a lot of people that are in this region here that just don't want to wear their masks. Two, to go back to your comment about the other countries, when you compare countries that have a political system similar to ours, they're struggling just like we are. When you look at the other countries that aren't struggling the way we are, or have had hiccups and things that have happened a second time or a third time, and they've been able to bring their numbers back down, those democracies didn't operate like ours. They were authoritarian, and if they told you to wear your mask, guess what? They wore it because they have no choice. Here we have that choice, and look where it's getting us. We have high numbers. So enjoy your freedoms, leave it at that. And if you don't want to wear it, don't wear it. And you have the right to complain about it. But for the rest of us, we want to stay safe. We want to be able to live to see our wife and kids and the rest of our family members. And we'll just go from there.
Yep.
Also, I'll add to that if you take about 30 seconds and Google search COVID cases in Florida, Florida has had 1 million COVID cases to date. New York, which is the original hotspot. Mm-hmm. New York to date has had 653,000 cases to Florida's 999,000. So.
Yep. Yeah.
For the record, I'm not in favor of shutdowns, widespread shutdowns, but to say shutdowns don't work, I 5 minutes before the meeting was reading an article that said England just did another shutdown and reduced their affected rate by 30%. So, and it could be, and I'm not saying that's the route to go, but there's got to be a happy medium. There's got to be a balance, and that's my 2 cents worth.
That's okay. The one place that Gil and I visited was Vermont, and they're the place that has the lowest numbers, I think, in the country. But I'll tell you, they take it serious. Everyone has a mask. They want your contact information when you go into a restaurant to eat. Everything's social distancing, and you can see why they have the lowest numbers. So, I think it does make a difference, but I think everyone is going to do what's comfortable for them. But I think if we just take a moment and think about those around us and those that we love, that we want to see them at Christmas. You know, I told my son, that's in Pennsylvania, I said, you know, I'd love to see you, but we can do a turkey any day, you know, and they were fine with that. So I just wanted to get the information to you so you can share it if people are questioning what's going on in Cattaraugus County in our area. Anybody else?
We do need to go into executive session.
Okay,
So just one last comment. Just so everybody knows, the fire department is starting to have not total difficulties, but the supplies are starting to may become an issue with getting the personal protective stuff. So we're keeping track of that and trying to maintain the equipment. The state is no longer providing the stuff to the county, so we're going to have to start probably purchasing the stuff ourselves, where we were getting it before from the state. So just an FYI to everybody.
okay. Oh, I know I was going to ask Bill, what are they building behind the fire department over by Pizza Hut?
They had some damage to the kitchen, so they're doing a little bit of an expansion. We had some water damage from the roof, and they're
Okay.
doing a little bit of an expansion. Everything's being done pretty much in-house, budgeted items. So just a little bit of an expansion to make their kitchen a little bit bigger.
Okay, I was just curious. I drove by and I saw that. Okay, anybody else, any comments? If not, I'll make a motion. And Bill, you have to cut us off or stop recording.
Yeah, as soon as we go into executive session, we'll stop all that.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go into executive session. Can I have a second?
So seconded.
And it'll be for contract negotiations.
Okay,
Okay, just a second. I've stopped the recording. You want to take us off of, Jason's going to take us off of the YouTube?